Morning. I know what's wrong with my resin. Did some experimenting last night with some old catalyst that I had lying around from the previous batch, and the resin went off immediately. The resin catalyst that they've sent, I think the shelf life's gone on it. I don't think it's any good whatsoever. It just didn't work. It didn't go off. Didn't do anything. 3 days running. I'm on 4th day now, and I've checked, and it still ain't properly gone. It will go eventually, but it's going to take a very long while by the looks of things. So we'll try and heat it up with a heat gun. We'll put some black paint around the window areas, but we're going to leave the rest of the paint until spring. In the meanwhile, my experiment last night, that went off in less than half an hour to a gel state. I came up this morning and it is absolutely rock solid. So I'm back on that catalyst, and that stuff I'm not bothering with. I've got 2 of those left. That should be enough. Oh, I'm gonna tell him in a minute. Trying to get my attention. Was it the sirens? Are you done? You noisy little Herbert. Yeah, you. Gonna get me into trouble, matey. Keep it down if you don't mind. Yeah. Right, so today's task, more experimenting. I'm not going to wipe out all of my resin to do the whole thing. I'm going to do that tomorrow instead. So today I'm going to sand this here window, and I'm going to take out all the screws that are proud and countersink and bury them back in. And I'm going to try and clean up as much as I can. And I'm a bit worried about the bottom panel when I put the window in, so I'm going to need some pretty strong sealant really to hold that in place, because the screws alone, I don't think they're going to do it. Up here, I'm thinking when I glass this piece in, I don't really want to cut and sand that area, so I might put a piece of wood over the top of the resin and then re-roll and try and get that as flat as I possibly can. If I'm honest with you, what I need to be doing is changing the angle slightly, because the angle's wrong. I can do that with sanding discs, but they just disintegrate straight away. A bit of a nuisance really. I've got a belt sander, but it's only thin ply. Oi! Stop it! Little so-and-so. There's only thin plywood, so there isn't a lot behind it. Oh, I've been at this now 4 hours. I'm having a break, as in hopefully the weather will stay good. I mean, now my rotten luck, it's going to rain in it. Oh shit, we don't want that down there. Right, so what have I actually done? Well, it's quite simple. I've doubled up 450 at the bottom to get that more rigid, and then I've surfaced tissued right up and over because the holes are in that gap there. Tomorrow when I do the roof, I will sand back along here just to get it a bit smoother, and then I'll put 100 on that, bring it over the edge a little bit, and then put some more surface tissue over that. So the surface tissue that's left, not over there but in the shed, is going to go on the entire roof, and then whatever I can get out of that one will fill in the gaps that I've missed and come over the edge to seal up that top half of here. But the bottom half, that's going to get a fresh piece of glass over it, and no surface tissue because there just isn't enough left over. Unfortunately, I mean, it is finally now starting. I can feel it. The temperature's changed and it's doing something. But I've had to put more resin over the top, which means I've now got to sand that back gently. Not by a lot, but there's loads of runs, as you can see. So yeah, we'll have to put the DA over this just to get it a little bit better than what it is. But I mean, as it is now, it's good enough for bed liner, to be honest. But yeah, that window's in. I had a lot of problems with that bottom shelf. As you can see, it's just gone completely wrong. The pink grip melted, as I thought it might. and dissolved, unfortunately. So no, I couldn't get anywhere with that one. I genuinely don't know how that's going to pan out. I'm hoping it's soft enough once it's gone off, which is not far off now, that we can put a load of sealant there. What I might do is just get a knife and cut that whole area and just fill it with sealant inside to seal it up, and then seal up the window as I put it on. I don't think water will get beyond it. I suppose we'll find out, won't we, when we have a go at it. So that's nice and hard. Before I pack up for the day, we're just going to see what this is doing. See, it is curing off now. The catalyst was rubbish. So what I've done, because I'm getting low on my own catalyst now, is I've been putting their catalyst and mixing it in with this. I've got one more bottle in there. I've just about got enough to do the roof. That roof took 5 kilo of resin to get one layer of 300 and the surface tissue on. That side went really well, and that side was not so good. It wrinkled up on me in places, and I wasn't able to get those out because I over catalysed it and it kind of went hard on me. Yeah, wet patch in the resin there, a previous wet patch underneath the other, another wet patch in the. I mean, it's not easy. Gotta be honest with you. So yeah. Just noticed something. That's probably too late now. Yep, it's too late. That's already gone. So yeah, it's done as best as I can get it anyway. A few air bubbles I couldn't get out, but I'm confident that when it rains next, providing we don't bend it up too much, lifting it out the front, because I think that was also part of the problem, because there was no real structure in this, so it was getting twisted about, and I had 2 weak people helping me before. I ain't exactly as strong as myself, and things just got broke. So it's a lot stronger now. It's still delicate, very delicate, but not as delicate as it was. It's a little bit heavier than before, obviously, but for the strength that I need, the weight is just going to have to be an acceptable consequence of that. So tomorrow, if it's not raining, we'll get the DA out and we'll literally sand as much of this down as we can in the garden. Really hoping to move this thing tomorrow, but my back went, oh, now I'm in agony. Not that I'm trying to get sympathy, I'm just pointing out that this could be delayed. I've sanded that area, that's all got to be bed lined next. That line I said I needed to capture, I have caught it, but we've got a little bit more work to do on them areas there possibly. Window looked quite good in there, but I don't want to sand too much. That's going to get ripple paint on it anyway. I will have to sand the frame back because it's scraping as it's going in, and that's going to be a problem for the paint. So before I go about that, fitting the windows, I will need to do that. So yeah, sanded all that back, so now we've just got to give it a quick wipe down. We've just got the awning gap to do. We've got a few loose bits under there, as you can see, to get rid of and clean up some of the filler work, and that's what I did last night. If I haven't already explained it, ran a line of filler down there. Again, it's getting bed lined. You won't be able to hide all of it, but I can't get any sanders in there, and I'm not sitting here for an hour sanding the back. That's not a case of you got no pride for your work. It's a case of I've got no back, and that's the problem. Luckily, one of my other sons is coming down tomorrow. He doesn't know it yet, but he's going to get roped in to help move this, because once we've got this on, I can then lift it up myself onto blocks in each corner, squirt a load of polyurethane, which is not the way I wanted to go about doing it, and then I can drop it back down and then run a series of screws through. Painted up, not very well. Why does he always bark when I come outside? Anyway, oi! Enough! Anyway, painted it up. That really needs I had to thin the bed liner down because I needed it to go all the way around, and I did need it a bit thinner when it came to painting on the doors. What I should have done was hit it with the thick stuff first, then thinned it out for the doors. Never mind. I've done under there as well, but it ain't great. So I reckon, because I was going to leave that bit there black because there's a bit patchy there, I think we might just end up rolling some grey over the top, mask up the window, mask down the side, and then just grey. All depends what I do on here really with the awning. If I decide to set that on early, then I'm afraid that paint stays, and what you see is what you get. However, if I don't put that on until the very last moment, if I get the grey on first, that may get grey over the top with a roller. We'll see. I don't know at this point in time. We've got to... I'm just trying to get my breath back. I'm not going to say too much. Right, next, trim up all these little bits. There's a few. And then it's a case of lift it up in the air, put it on chocks, sealant and gloves, drop it back down again, and then screws. Lots and lots of screws. So I've got that to sort out next, the flooding. There is water between the floor, so I need to drill a hole for an air vent anyway, so I might as well drill a hole in that corner, let that all run out. The locker has been built, painted, but I've got to clean that framework up first before that can go in. I've got a strip to put in across there to lock the crown ring down. Then I've got to clean up all of this fiberglass. There's bulkheads going in, which is going to help with containing this. The roof is so much thicker now than it was before. We've still got that as an issue. That might leak. Not really bothered if it do, if I'm honest. There's a skylight going in there. We've just got to get some wood, cut a frame out, get that hatch down from the lorry, and we can go about fitting it. So really, what's next? The door is next. We've got a heaving hole there to sort out, and then the locker. And once I've done that, I've got to then tape all the way around the outside of this thing, there, down there, across there, everywhere where there's a gap has got to be taped. So I've got to take away some of that paint reluctantly, because I wasn't going to do that originally, but I've decided to now. And then I've got to cover these and re-glass over them. Also, we have an issue up here where we've got a bit of an overlap. I've got to try and figure out how to get around that. I never had that overlap before I did all the work, so that rear must have moved somewhere when I was glass fibering up. I don't actually know what happened because it did fit. Maybe I should have pushed that one down, this one up, and then twisted everything into position. That's probably what's happened, as it's lost its flexibility through stiffening up. So they're in, they're sealed. I've just got to fill these holes up and drill a new one somewhere down here on each one, because that is going to fill up with water and get in, guarantee it. I've already done the holes on that one, so I've spewed sealant inside that area there and there, but it will run in and then it will run out, hopefully anyway. If not, we've got a little bit of fettling to do. So yeah, I am so pleased with this. It's working out, and weight wise, not 100%, but I'd say, at a guess, 500, maybe 600 kilograms all in. That's what I think. Might be less. I don't think it's any more than that. We've still got, I mean, the heavy stuff to go in. We've still got the legs to build. I want that wood burner in because it's going to save me so much money in the winter. Gas, cooking and all that kind of stuff, and heating up. So that's got to go in, and that's not a light thing. What else is there? You're going to be carrying water as well, but that's going to be in the form of bottles, and they'll probably be in the back seats of the car. All of the bulkheads are going to be made up of single pieces of ply, and there'll be nets instead of doors, apart from the toilet room. She wants a door. I've got a mattress, so I've got to find some foam. Got to keep that super light as well. Walls are going to get made out of hardboard. We're going to cover them in foam, cover them in material, screw them in position where they need to be screwed in after I've insulated, because I haven't done that yet. And then there's some cover plates to go over the windows as well, on the two front and the side, which are going to be electrically operated. There is still a selection of windows to go in along there as yet. Look at that, pinprick holes still, you can still see them. I didn't do that wall. I did that wall. No, I didn't do that wall either, I just did over there. So I did that wall, we know that's solid. We did the ceiling, so we know that's not going to leak. It could come in over there. Until we get a rainstorm, I'm not really going to know. So, if it really becomes a problem, instead of glassing it on the outside, I'll do it on the inside. And I'll just run a length all the way along and all the way along, just to sort that problem out. And I can do that one evening when I've got nothing to do. So I'm not overly bothered about it. We've got a filler up in here, so that's all painted up. Just got to drill that hole out over there, and then we've got to drill some holes in the base for the awning rail, but I want to move this over to the truck closer, so I've got a bit more room to play with over there. But if I do that, we ain't getting inside that. In fact, that's now going to be a struggle anyway, to get in there. Oh man, I am so pleased. Look, I'm going to hang up now. So look, thanks ever so much for your views, and my God, 20 to 21 likes on the previous video. For me, that's quite impressive. 150 views with that amount of likes. So all you chaps and ladies that actually went out of your way to click that button, thank you so much. I am so pleased about that. I'm very, very happy. So next video to come out is the door. That'll probably be a Christmas Day one, and the locker, because I'm waiting for some resin to turn up before I nail into that. I've done some work to the door itself so far. You'll see what I've done, which was done while I was doing this, so I'm going to edit it out of this video and hold it for the next, which means I won't delete the footage of this camera. That locker's got to go in place. We've got to drill a hole down there. Then I've got to move the dehumidifier in here and start drying this damn thing out, because nothing more can happen until it's dried out. Loads to do, loads. We'll pick this up after the next video, which is Christmas Day. We'll pick this up in the new year. I've got a few bills to pay. I've been holding back in paying them. They've got to be done. There's no ifs or buts about it. So I need to get that out of the way. There's a few hundred quid that's got to be coughed up. I don't know where I'm going to find it, but it's got to be paid. And then I can return back to this. So there might be a long gap in the new year. And you'll know why, because I have no money to do any work and I've got to pay my bills. So, with that, I'll see you Christmas Day.